Ever since Jan and Mates made the skirt that always fits, I've been longing to make one myself. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. Firstly, I'm making the half circle version, which is held in place with D-rings. And I'm doing the version with a detachable pinafore. Now, I love pinafore dresses, and the idea of the versatility of a fully adjustable waistband and a pinafore bib that could be added or removed, I thought was such a good idea. So the design combines the swishy skirts of the late 40s and 50s with the deep pockets of the 18th century, you know, those tie-around pockets with the slit opening which held lots of things. It's a really versatile skirt and I think a really clever design, and I wanted to try it for myself with the variations, the half circle D-ring version with the detachable pinafore bib. I don't think I've seen done before. Might have been done. I haven't seen it on YouTube. Anyway, I shall show you how I got on, and I've picked out some really fun fabrics, so I'll show you that now. So I'm holding up the fabric. It is a vintage fabric from Donna Flower Fabrics, and I just couldn't resist the parrots. They're just splendid, aren't they? I suspect this used to be a pair of curtains, but the cotton is definitely, you know, a possible dressmaking weight, I felt. And the parrots, it just had to be done, didn't it? I think so. So this is the first time I've ever done this. I actually followed the layout instructions for the width of fabric I have, which is 150 centimetres. And what do you know? It completely works. So the only thing is that go further, I've got these skirt pieces done, but when you come on up here, the rumply pattern pieces you can see at the end are for the pinafore, and I'm not sure that if I cut all the skirt pieces out I'll have enough of the pinafore. I think I probably won't. So what I'm going to do is not cut out the pocket pieces for now, because I could do those in a plain colour. I'm going to cut out the skirt pieces, and then with the fabric I have left I'm going to fiddle around and see if I can get everything out of the fabric. And then if not, I know I've got some plain linen fabric. Is it just me, or do you find that you shouldn't even think this is going swimmingly well? Invites disaster, doesn't it? Let alone say this is going so well. Because the next thing you know, maybe just me, I realised that I've been completely stupid, there's a thing, and not using my brain at all, because of course if I'd done it like that as recommended for fabric, obviously without a directional print, if I think about it, some of the parrots would have been upside down on their heads. So now I've relaid it out, and suddenly it's not all very fabric saving at all, is it? Such a stupid mistake, wasn't it? I didn't know what I was thinking. I don't think I was thinking. Just cut these skirt pieces out, see what fabric I have left, go from there. Before I cut out the rest of the detachable pinafore, I of course want a parrot to be in the centre of the bib. It's one of the reasons I chose this fabric. As you can see, the piece doesn't cover the whole tail, but I thought even if he's cut off there, to try and centre this gorgeous red parrot right in the middle of my chest. Down to cutting out the rest of the skirt and pinafore from scraps I've got left. I'm hoping to just be able to get both sides of the T pocket pieces that I need, 4 pieces in all, by cutting each separately and then just finding another scrap just big enough for the pocket. And I know I can do 3, I'm just not sure I can manage the 4th. We'll see. Everything all cut out now, so I need to go and start sewing. I'll pop in at intervals and show you how everything goes together, and also let you know how easy or not it is. here is where I'm up to with the detachable pinafore, and I thought I would just quickly show you how it's constructed. I shall start with the tucks that are formed on the back, and they are tucks, they're not pleats, they're not going into points. They start wider and then become narrower to create little fullness over the bust, but they are tucks, not darts. So there are two parts to the straps, and they're stitched at an angle, and then the shorter part goes right side to right side, and it's interfaced and stitched there, and then that is turned over, and you can see I've done that on this side. And then you join it to its facing, sew it all the way around, sort of as you would a belt. So it's sewn all the way around, and then you have to turn it right side out, and that is stitched to just a few centimetres or inches above there, so you can turn that strap through this opening, and then that will just be hand stitched closed. And similarly, the facing goes all the way down the side here, so you can see how that is going to be. And then I will turn under that edge and press under the stitching here, and then it's top stitched all the way round to encase that raw seam there. And as you turn it round, you can see that just frames my parrots there at the front. At the top there is also a facing piece, and that's understitched just to hold it in place. And with the angling of those straps, they will just cross over at the back, and if I just move that up, then there is the waistband piece, and that's stitched right side to right side with the sides that will just overlap and wrap round, and then it's folded in half with the edges turned in, and then that's going to be top stitched in place. And then the buttonholes will be in this waistband, and they will match to buttons within the skirt. So I'll just put up a little diagram here so you can see it's quite ingenious really. It's simple but ingenious. You can then button on your parrot bib, or whatever bib you have, small sensible plain bib, onto your skirt, or you can just wear it as a skirt. And buttonholes that will be going in the sides here, what they advise you to do, and what I will do, is to try on the skirt and the bib. So to put those buttonholes in at the last moment, once you've adjusted the whole pinafore dress with the length of those straps absolutely how you want them, then put the buttonholes for the straps. The buttonholes in the waistband will connect to the skirt, and the buttonholes on the sides will be where you button down your straps. We're thinking about the pattern matching on that waistband. I actually just didn't have enough fabric. I have like a few little shreds left. Definitely wasn't the fabric to match up that waistband. I think the pattern is so busy. I mean, of course, ideally it would all pattern match, but I don't think it's really going to be too worrisome. Do you? Say yes. So I'm finding all the instructions so clear and easy to follow. Admittedly, I'm used to trying to follow sketchy instructions from the 1930s on patterns with no markings, so I'll check, but I think this is recommended for experienced beginners to intermediate, this pattern. Can't remember. I'll check and put it up on screen, and I think that is about right. Could a total beginner do it? It's hard to know, isn't it? It's hard to know when sewing forever. I think they could. I think as a beginner you could. You might want a little bit of help. I think you would work your way through. I do think it's a pattern for everyone. I'm really loving it actually. I'm already pretty sold on it. Mind you, there's always the slight anxiety of the moment one puts it on and what will it actually look like. That is my biggest moment of anxiety in sewing actually, is the moment of putting it on and looking in the mirror. When I first look in the mirror, I can't see anything because I'm completely short-sighted. gonna have to find my glasses. What do you really need to know all this? Not really. Anyway, it's not until the moment that I find my glasses that I can actually see the final picture. Thinking, oh, well, you don't wear glasses and I'm talking to you. Too vain. Yeah, I'm very short-sighted. You see close up all right. It's any distance. When I first put something on, like pull it over my head without my glasses on, I always look in the mirror like really anxious, and then it's like an impressionist painting. Anyway, yes, I shall get on. Sort of waffling. The pockets, the first thing that you're going to do is cut a slit down to the marking here. There are front pocket and back pocket pieces, and that is just cutting a slit in the front pocket. So I've marked with tailor's tacks where I need to cut the slit. And I'm just cut with pinking shears, not that you really need them, but just be on the safe side around fraying, although this is not a fray fabric. Yeah, I have my 2 front pockets and the bias binding strips I'm going to stitch around each of the openings. So this is the front of the pocket with the opening finished with the bias binding, and you then overlap the opening at the top and then just tackle, waist, whatever you want to call it, down just 2 centimeters across the top to keep that opening closed. And now to sew on the back of the pocket, and that is just going to be stitched just around the outside curve, pinned it there, all around the back curve of the pocket, leaving the front open but finishing the seam. This is the back skirt, and what you do is to pin the pockets each side of the back skirt. They're going to be folded out. You can see the front opening there, but just stitch along the back side seam down to the base of the pocket, and then I'm going to press that seam out. So press out the pocket from that back skirt. This is the back of the skirt. Before you join the front skirt to the back skirt, you put on this back waistband, which you can see as I've done, and that's just folded over and just folded under, and I need to, it's just pinned at the moment, I need to then stitch that down. And then at the sides, just over the pockets, there's the short end which is stitched around, then turned right side out, and you then slide 2 D-rings. I got mine from Amazon. You get absolutely loads for not very much money. You want 2 because of course when you come to putting the belt on you need 2 to tighten. So we've got 2 to fit the width of the tie, and then that's going to be folded over to the wrong side and just stitched down as you would a belt. And on the other side, also stitched around right side to right, so then turned out, is this longer tie. Once I have stitched the D-rings in place, I can then join the back skirt to the front skirt along the side seams. The front skirt will also have its own waistband and ties. Hard to see, but I have my front skirt here with the long ties. Those are just joined either side of the front waistband. So at the moment, the front and back skirt are still separate, with these pockets with their bias band opening on the back but pressed outwards from the edges. So then take the front skirt piece, which is here. It's hard to see what's happening, but this is the front skirt laid over the back skirt at the side seams. So what you do to join the sides, pin down the side seam below the pocket. You can see the pocket here, and you're going to do a bar tack across the pocket here, just an inch above the base of the pocket, and then top stitch down to the hem of the skirt, so from 1 inch above the base of the pocket to the hem of the skirt, and then the top of the skirt is left open. So I'm just going to quickly climb out of the pinafore dress now so that I can show you how I got into it in the first place. And you can see me just undoing the little side buttons on the pinafore bib there, and that just takes the straps away from the back, and then I'm undoing the buttonholes on the front waistband of the skirt. So there's 4 around that front waistband, and just 2 each side of the bib, which so I'm taking that off, and then you can see how the back of the skirt is tied around the waist on those D-rings so that you can adjust the waist to fit exactly, and those D-rings really hold in place. And yes, so showing that no matter how one expands, and then you've got these lovely deep pockets just below the hip line, and then you pull up the front skirt and it's got those long ties, and then just you can tie it around the back, but you don't want to tie the bow yet. I'm just showing you the buttons on that front waistband. And now putting the pinafore bib on, then you need access to those buttons along the inside of the front waistband. So then I've got the 4 buttonholes along the waist of the bib and the buttons on the inside of the front waistband of the skirt, 4 in all, evenly spaced. So you can see I'm just doing those up around the front to join the front of the skirt to the pinafore bib, and it's really quite easy to do. You can see it's not taking me very much time, and you can see at the moment I've got my pinafore straps are loose, so they then cross over at the back. Oh, I'm just just tying on the tie of the skirt so that wraps round. The tie is on the front part of the skirt, and then that just wraps around the waist. And now I'm going to do up the straps of the Pinafore bib, and they just cross over at the back and do up with one button at each side. So the button is on the strap and the buttonhole is on the bib of the pinafore. And with that second button done up, I am all done. And that's how you do up the pinafore dress with the D-ring skirt. So wrap up thoughts on my skirt that always fits with the detachable Pinafore bib. Only thing that I would do differently is that I would tack where the straps for the Pinafore join at the top of the bib before they go over the shoulder. That seam I would just tack in place and then try on the straps, because just fiddling with the button placements wasn't enough to get the straps to fit properly. I had some gaping here which I had to fiddle this seam to get rid of, and that wasn't so easy once it's all sewn top stitched into place. So I do that differently. I would tack it all and try it on before I did the machine stitching. Apart from that, it's the only thing. I absolutely love the skirt and the detachable Pinafore bib. I think it's such a good idea from Wildflower Design. All credit to her. The skirt, I'd say with the D-rings, I've not used D-rings before and they work so well. I'm used to vintage Bakelite buckles where, you know, the belt just gradually slide through. D-rings really hold the strap exactly in place, so you can tighten your skirt to just the right amount. And the whole thing of the skirt that always fits. I think we women, certainly speaking for myself, I have fibroids, which means that my stomach can really swell up and be very painful. Having a skirt that I can adjust down for a slimmer day and then adjust again. It can even be through the course of the day that things will suddenly swell up and go wrong for me. I'm sure other people with things like irritable bowel syndrome or just weight fluctuations or kinds of reasons. We women get fluctuating waistlines, aren't there? And with this skirt, it really does always fit, and you don't have the elasticated waistband look, obviously, which is it's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? For the half circle version, you don't have any gathering around your waistline either. You have this totally smooth fitted look and you're totally comfortable. And then with the pockets, I don't usually put pockets in my dresses, although I know people love to. But for me, it spoils the line of the dresses. If you actually put anything in your pocket, then you've got a kind of bulge, haven't you? These pockets, because they're deep, put things in, and it's actually, the thing is like down in the fullness of the skirt, so they're actually really useful pockets, and the depth of them means that put all kinds of things in there, you know, for dogs. Walking, and if you're just wandering around the house sewing, like sewing scissors, etc. The pockets are great. It's just a very, very, very good idea, I think. I think for this dress, I'll probably wear it pretty well always as a pinafore, even though I can remove the bib, and obviously I could do that if I wanted to wear, say when it gets cooler, I want to wear a jumper, I could remove the bib, but I think mostly, this one, I'll wear it with a bib because of the parrot. But if I'd made a sensible version, which I did think of, in plain linen, it was plain dark green linen I was thinking of, then I think I would take the bib on and off much more. And I do really want to make this pattern again. I think it's a pattern that I'll probably make over and over. It's obviously been hugely popular on the internet already, and it deserves that popularity. I thoroughly recommend. Thank you very much for watching me. I hope you'll like my video and consider subscribing, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.